death of Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, at the age of 99 marks both a moment of personal grief for the Queen and the royal family, a moment of national mourning for a man who dedicated his life to public service. He was a man who served Britain with his gusto, a war hero, never dull. The Queen has lost her husband and companion, her strength and stay of 73 years. Many people up and down the country who have lost their spouses in a year that has brought more death and grief than usual will know and understand her pain. We hereby offer you a brief catch-up of his long life.
Prince Philip of Greece and Denmark was born in one repos of the Greek island of Corfu on 10th of June 1921. A member of the House of Glassburg, the ruling house of Denmark, Philip was a prince of both Greece and Denmark. He was baptized in the Greek Orthodox Rite at St. George Church in Corfu and was raised as a Greek Orthodox Christian. Shortly after Philip's birth, the Greek Revolutionary Court banished his father, Prince Andrew, from Greece for life. Because Philip left Greece as a baby, he did not speak Greek. He stated that he thought of himself as Danish and his family spoke English, French, and German.
Philip was first educated at the Elms, an American school in Paris. Then he was sent to Schulschloss Salem in Germany. With the rise of Nazism in Germany, Salem's Jewish founder, Kurt Hahn, fled persecution and founded Gordonston School in Scotland, to which Philip moved after 2 terms at Salem.
After being educated in France, Germany, and the United Kingdom, Philip joined the Royal Navy aged 18. During the Second World War, he served through his distinction in the Mediterranean and Pacific fleets. In October 1942, at the age of 21, he became the youngest first lieutenant in the Royal Navy.
In 1939, King George VI toured the Royal Naval College. During the visit, Philip was asked to escort the king's 2 daughters, Elizabeth and Margaret, who were Philip's third cousins through Queen Victoria. Princess Elizabeth fell in love with Philip. They began to exchange letters when she was 13.
After the war, Philip asked the king for his daughter's hand in marriage. He abandoned his Greek and Danish royal titles, adopted the surname of Mountbatten for his mother's family, and became a naturalized British subject. The day before the wedding, King George VI bestowed the style of the Royal Highness of Philip, and on the morning of the wedding, he was made the Duke of Edinburgh.
Philip and Elizabeth were married in a ceremony at Westminster Abbey on 20th of November 1947. The ceremony was recorded and broadcast by BBC Radio to 100 million people around the world. After their marriage, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh took up residence at Clarence House.
The accession of Elizabeth to the throne brought up the question of the name of the royal house, as Elizabeth would typically have taken Philip's last name upon marriage. The Duke's uncle advocated the name House of Mountbatten. Philip suggested House of Edinburgh after his ducal title. When Queen Mary, Elizabeth's grandmother, heard of this, she informed the British Prime Minister, Mr. Churchill, who himself later advised the Queen to issue a royal proclamation declaring that the royal house was to remain known as the House of Windsor.
Prince Philip privately complained, "I'm nothing but a bloody amoeba. I'm the only man in the country not allowed to give his name to his own children." Philip had 4 children with Elizabeth: Charles, Prince of Wales, Anna, Princess Royal, Prince Andrew, Duke of York, and Prince Edward, Earl of Wessex.
In 1960, the Queen issued an order in Council declaring that Mountbatten Windsor would be the surname of her and husband's male line descendants who are not styled as Royal Highness or titled as Prince or Princess. The surname Mountbatten Windsor is currently used by some members of the royal family who do hold titles such as Princess Anne, Prince Andrew, Prince Edward, and Prince Harrison Archie.
As consort to the Queen, Prince Philip supported his wife in her new duties as sovereign, accompanying her to ceremonies such as the state opening of Parliament in various countries, state dinners, and tours abroad.
His most notable achievement was the foundation of the Duke of Edinburgh Award Scheme with his school principal, Kurt Hahn. The award has helped create opportunities for millions of young people around the world to undertake service in the community and enjoy the outdoors.
But he also did much to advance British engineering and science, to highlight issues around conservation, and served as patron to many important charitable causes, particularly focused on the environment, industry, sport, and education. He helped found the Australian Conservation Foundation and the World Wildlife Fund.
Prince Philip was the president of London Film Festival BAFTA. He served as Chancellor and Honorary Fellow of the Universities of Cambridge, Edinburgh, Salford and Wales. He carried out more than 22,000 solo public engagements before retiring from public life at the age of 96. but perhaps his most important role was as a partner and personal support to the Queen.
Prince Philip was anything but a dull character. He was considered immensely likable by those who met him. Philip was noted for occasionally making observations and jokes that have been considered as either funny or as gaffe, awkward, politically incorrect, or even offensive. In an address to the General Dental Council in 1960, he jokingly coined a new word for his blunders. Odontology is the science of opening your mouth and putting your foot in, a science which I have practiced for a good many years. Later in life, he suggested his comments may have contributed to the perception that he was a cantankerous old sod.
In April 2019, Prince Philip became the third longest-lived member of the British royal family. Personally, he was not enthused about living an extremely long life, remarking in a Millennium interview when he was 79 that he could not imagine anything worse and had no desire whatsoever to become a centenarian, saying, "Bits of me are falling off already."
In June 2011, in an interview marking his 90th birthday, he said that he would now slow down and reduce his duties, stating that he had done his bit. His wife, the Queen, gave him the title Lord High Admiral for his 90th birthday.
Prince Philip retired from his royal duties at age 96. Prime Minister Theresa May thanked him for a remarkable lifetime of service. In 2017, he celebrated his 70th wedding anniversary with the Queen, which made her the first British monarch to celebrate a platinum wedding anniversary.
In 2019, 97-year-old Philip was involved into a car crash as he pulled out onto a main road near Sandringham Estate. He apologized and 3 weeks later voluntarily surrendered his driving license.
On the 9th of January 2021, Prince Philip and the Queen were vaccinated against COVID-19 by a household doctor at Windsor Castle.
Prince Philip died on the morning of the 9th of April 2021 at Windsor Castle, aged 99, 2 months before his 100th birthday. The palace said he died peacefully. The funeral is scheduled to take place today on the 7th of April 2021 at St. George Chapel, Windsor Castle. As it was said about Philip reportedly did not enjoy pomp and circumstance for its own sake, and his wishes for his funeral were for it to be kept simple.
Prince Philip was viewed as a great modernizing force for the monarchy that helped keep it in step with an evolving post-war nation. He was the longest-serving royal consort in British history. In private, the Queen described her husband's death as having left a huge void in her life. To the country, he was one of the best living members of a generation of war heroes. The fact of a long and richly lived life can never compensate for its loss.
There will be many who grieve Prince Philip in the days, months and the years to come in the UK and abroad. Some because they met him and were touched by him. Others because of what he represents to them. But above all else, he was a husband and a father. It is the Queen for whom the most heartfelt condolences should be felt.